Razaka, brothers and sisters, today is the feast of POKROV, the protection of the Mother of God. It's a commemoration of an event that happened in the 10th century in Constantinople, in the temple of Blacherny, which housed the relics of the Mother of God, many different ones. They were part of her belt that she had, and also the veil that she had covered herself with. These relics were in this temple. They were transferred from Palestine to this particular church. And at this time, people had gathered for vigil for the evening service. And St. Andrew, a fool for Christ, who was a disciple of St. Epiphanes, who was also there, saw the Mother of God over the church, saw St. John and some of the apostles. He had this vision of them looking down over the church. And as the prayers went on, she would take her veil and cover the congregation. And so to speak, that she was weeping over them and protecting them by her veil, or omophoria, as we hear in the hymnography. And this was to protect them. And it is a big feast for us, especially in the Russian church, which is ironic, because the chronicler, Nestor, the Russian chronicler, says that at this time, that in Constantinople, that a group of people from probably Kievan groups, Ukraine, were coming down the Bosphorus in boats to attack Constantinople. And they were attacking, and so the people were in church praying, doing a vigil, praying. And so it's ironic that we celebrate this. It's probably the highest ranked feast that we can have other than the Great 12 Feast within our church. So this vigil, St. Andrew, the Fool for Christ, had this vision. And we commemorate that today. And we commemorate it joyously because it's a reminder of how the Mother of God looks over us and protects us. How through her intercessions that God's grace is put out upon us. And it's also a good reminder for us that we don't always know what's going on in the spiritual world. We don't have it all understood, what's going on in our own lives, let alone in the spiritual world. But there's greater things going on. There's this greater battle out there that is taking place. And then we sometimes get caught in our own day-to-day. Sometimes we might have some battles. In this case, in Constantinople, they truly did have a battle going on. That God is there to protect us still. The Mother of God is there to look over her children. We're all her children, right? Christ said on the cross to John that, "Behold your mother." And it's not to John only, not to John the theologian, but to all of us, that she is truly our mother, and that she looks over us, and that we need to intercede for her, or ask her for her intercessions to God, because she does protect over us. She looks over us. And so we don't know truly how God's hand is playing in everything. But if we had the spiritual eyes, say of St. Andrew, the fool for Christ, a fool for Christ who is sometimes looked down upon in this world as somebody who is a little bit not right in the head. They're full of love for God, and sometimes they do foolish things for God. But they have spiritual eyes. And he could see this miracle happening here that day. So we don't really know, because we're kind of lost in our own ways. We don't know that God and his protection is really overlooking us. We don't know really what he has done and protected us from, really. There's so many dangers out there in this world that we are probably been protected from that we just don't even know about it. But through the intercessions of the Mother of God and God's loving grace, we've been protected from it. So we don't know God's ways. God's ways are not our ways. So don't ever try to think about why, how come. Because we're not God. We just went up, my family and a few of the other parishioners here, thank God, went to see the miracle streaming icon of the Iran icon of Hawaii in Parma for their feast day. Sunday and Monday we were there to serve liturgy. And Brother Nectarios, who is the caretaker, he's from Hawaii. He's the caretaker of the icon. I've known him for almost a decade now. And so it was good to see him. But he has spoken to the group that was there, the large group that assembled for this vigil. And it was a long vigil, long one, but it was very edifying. But he spoke to the group, and he was telling and reminding us of some of the miracles that have occurred from this icon. And he recounts that many years ago in Arizona, that St. Anthony's Greek Orthodox monastery, that there was a young girl who had a skin condition all over her body, and that was very painful, and a lot of the sores weeped all over her, and it was very painful. She was often crying in agony. Then she came to the Mother of God, to this Merstringen icon. Her parents, of course, pious, brought her so that they could pray and expect hopefully a miracle, some healing. And he reminded us that they took this myrrh. I've heard this story a couple of times, but he reminded me. But they took the myrrh that weeps. Oftentimes I've anointed many of you with this. And they put it all over the young girl, all her sores. And it started burning her. And she was screaming and screaming out loud in painful agony because of the myrrh on her skin. And Brother Nectarius was there, and he was sitting, and he said he started to cry. He started to cry because he knows that the Mother of God is a consoler and a protector, and that she does perform miracles. And in his mind, he had a little doubt that, why would this be happening to this little girl? Why is the Mother of God bringing pain upon this little girl with her holy oil? It should not be so. He said he had these moments of doubts and afflictions at that time. But it was the next day he was told that they got a call from the parents. That the next morning they woke up and they heard the little girl in her room talking to somebody. And they went and said, "Who are you talking to?" She says, "To the lady." And then they looked at her skin, and it had cleared up. Those wounds had gone. They're gone. And she was talking to the Mother of God, to the Theotokos. You see, brothers and sisters, he had doubts, and we have doubts, and we question God a lot about things that go on in our lives, about where we're being led and how things transpire. But we don't understand the spiritual realm. We don't understand that sometimes even when pain is put upon us, sometimes pain that we think even God put us through in affliction, that he has the best intentions for us. That the Mother of God is there to look over us and to heal us and to take care of us. And sometimes a little pain comes along the way and we don't understand it. It's because we're not really spiritually attuned to it. Like St. Andrew, as we hear in the hymnography, the fool for Christ, who everyone thought was just a dummy, that could see the miracle that was happening. That despite the battle that was going on in Constantinople, that she was protecting that flock who had gathered for that evening service within that church, and no one was harmed. So, brothers and sisters, I ask you today to reflect upon the great mercy of our God, the great care that the Mother of God protects us with on a day-to-day basis, even those things that are not even in our minds. We don't even know sometimes how she protected us because we weren't afflicted by something. We should thank God and have some gratitude for that, right? We think someone else's problems were our problem, but really we were probably shielded from that. And so there's a great spiritual battle out there that we're in the mix-up, and we just have to be attuned to it. We have to come together and pray as a community, as they did in Constantinople that day, for that vigil. They got together, they prayed to God. And we look at it, and we'll have God's grace shed down upon us, brothers and sisters. Don't question why about God. Just thank him. Thank him for our blessings. Thank him for the protection that we have that we know nothing about. Because he cares for us. And the Mother of God shelters us. In the name of God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.